The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
July 8th, 2010, the day where LeBron James joined the Miami Heat and effectively changed the NBA forever. By teaming up with All-NBA players and his best friends Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, they formed the wildly famous Big Three in Miami. This squad went to 4 finals together in their stretch, winning 2 in the process. However, the Miami Heat were not the only team in the running for LeBron's services. In fact, there were rumors of over 8 different teams vying for those rights. 6 teams were among the ones that LeBron seriously considered and had meetings with. Those teams were the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Knicks, his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers, and most interestingly, the Los Angeles Clippers. Each team had wildly different but intriguing pitches to bring LeBron to town. Many of you know the other possible outcomes and the ripples it would have had if LeBron chose them, but the one team talked about the least? The aforementioned Los Angeles Clippers. Superstar rookie Blake Griffin led the way for this Clippers roster, with second-year center DeAndre Jordan to round out the front court, and the well-rounded bench play surrounding these guys created a bright future for a team that was always clouded by the other teams in California. As many know, the Clippers struggled with ownership for a long time, with Donald Sterling being the cancer that plagued this organization for decades. However, in this universe, Sterling decides to sell his team early, gets banned from the NBA, and the King comes to LA almost an entire decade early, except not in purple and gold, but in red, white, and blue. Now, you may be wondering, what happens to the rest of the NBA? Will the entire landscape as we know it change? The answer is a big, ginormous yes. So here we are, checking out LeBron James on the Los Angeles Clippers, and this roster is pretty unique. LeBron, Blake Griffin, Eric Gordon, Baron Davis, Eric Bledsoe, a young DeAndre Jordan. And a lot of these guys, not in the league anymore, but only one remains. LeBron James choosing to go to LA a lot earlier than in real life and going right up the block to the Clippers. Now, as you saw in my intro, LeBron may not have seriously considered Los Angeles Clippers. I'll be real. But wouldn't it have been interesting? I think it would have been pretty interesting. And there's not much to say about LeBron being on the Clippers here. But what's really interesting is what's going to happen with the rest of the league as we go season by season. If we check out the Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and the rest of the roster isn't that impressive. Now, this could change because there is some money freed up because there is no LeBron. So it will be interesting to see how the Miami Heat can play with the spare money and maybe fill out this roster as the years go on, because these two are still in their prime. Now, how long do they have in their prime? That is yet to be seen, but it is still interesting to see what Miami could still do, knowing that they have a superstar level player that they won a championship with and a really great Robin, I guess you could say, even though in this case he was the 3rd best player on the team. Miami has their Batman and Robin, so we will see what happens here with Miami. Now, another team that is interesting to me, the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, very soon after LeBron signed, within the calendar year, the Los Angeles Lakers attempted to trade for Chris Paul, who ended up going to the Los Angeles Clippers. Will this still happen? Will the Lakers be able to keep Chris Paul, or will they go in a different direction? A lot of question marks that need to be answered. So let's just get right into season number 1. One of the biggest stories during the season was the availability of all-star point guard Deron Williams. And with the Clippers being a strong contender in the West, the Lakers feel they need more star power to compete in the packed Western Conference. At the trade deadline, the Lakers traded Lamar Odom, salary filler, and 2 unprotected first-round picks to the Utah Jazz in return for Deron Williams. With the new trio of Kobe, Deron Williams, and Pau Gasol, they can make a strong run during the second half of the season. Outside of that, the other story was Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks. It was no secret that Carmelo wanted to go to New York, and he still finds his way to New York after being traded from the Denver Nuggets, just as it happened in real life. With this trade, they set themselves up to be a perennial playoff contender in the weaker Eastern Conference for years to come. Entering the playoffs, the Miami Heat find themselves at the 5th seed, and without LeBron, Dwayne Wade has to step up in a huge way. Wade secures the Most Valuable Player award for the first time in his career, with career-high averages in every single category. While the Knicks did acquire Carmelo, the depleted depth leads them to the 8th seed, with hope in the front office that an entire offseason together will get the team right for the future. The core of Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire, paired with strong bench play, could be a championship-level roster. For the rest of the East, the Wizards somehow find themselves at the top, which is an anomaly, of course, followed by Derrick Rose, who led the Chicago Bulls to the 2nd seed, who originally won the MVP in real life, but in this universe, the storyline isn't in his favor this time around. The Big Three Celtics are in the 3rd spot, followed by Orlando in the 4th, Miami as we stated, Indiana, Detroit, and the aforementioned New York Knicks. As for the West, the real-life Cinderella story of the Dallas Mavericks leads the way in the 1st spot, with a strong MVP caliber season by Dirk Nowitzki. LeBron and the Clippers find themselves in the 2nd spot with 60 wins themselves in the West. The young OKC Thunder are in at the 3rd spot, while a young Steph Curry and company round out the top 4. Followed by Denver, Houston, and then the 7th-seeded Lakers, who come in as an underdog in the postseason. But with the new All-NBA caliber backcourt, anything is possible. In the West, the 3rd through 7th seed were only separated by 6 games, showing the strength of the conference. Meaning that in the first round, it'll be the back-to-back defending champion Lakers versus the new face of LA, LeBron, and the Clippers. And in Game 7, the Los Angeles Clippers will be falling to the Lakers. Even with LeBron's best efforts, they cannot get it done. And Kobe Bryant, Darren Williams, Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum will upset the 2nd seed. And the first season of the Los Angeles Clippers and LeBron James era not going as planned, as in real life, the Miami Heat made it to the finals with LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh, but it's a different time, it's a different league. There is plenty of time left for the Clippers to have some success. But as for the rest of the playoffs, Orlando dominates by sweeping Miami, New York, and then Chicago to go on a huge 12-0 playoff run. For the Lakers, they took down the young OKC roster led by Kevin Durant, and then faced the real-life NBA champions in a series that also went to 7 games. With that victory leading to a rematch of the previous NBA Finals, where it was all Lakers dominance. With Kobe and the Lakers winning the championship, and Kobe Bryant having his 2nd three-peat, the conversations about Kobe being top 3 of all time sparks larger debates than ever. And if the Lakers can continue to add to their success, we may be having discussions on Kobe Bryant being the greatest player of all time.
With the first pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Kyrie Irving from Duke University.
The Cavaliers lucked out in the lottery once again, bringing Kyrie Irving to the land. Since no team truly has a crystal ball, some of our top guys still fell in the draft. Other notable selections include Klay Thompson to the Hawks, Kawhi Leonard to the Rockets, Kemba Walker to the Raptors, Jimmy Butler to the Nets, and Isaiah Thomas to the Dallas Mavericks. Outside of that, in free agency, there aren't any major moves with the exception of Miami Heat filling out their roster with their extra cap space. The Heat brought in Andre Iguodala, George Hill, and Marc Gasol. Some of the other major teams signed role players and depth pieces, leading us into the 2011-2012 NBA season. In real life, Chris Paul ends up being traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. However, in this new universe, New Orleans wants to send Chris Paul to the East in an attempt to create more polarity among the conferences. With rumors of Dwight Howard being disgruntled in Orlando, they make a huge splash bringing in Chris Paul to pair alongside their superstar big man. Orlando traded newly drafted Reggie Jackson, Rashard Lewis, Marcin Gortat, 2 first-round picks in return for Chris Paul and David West, who Paul wanted to bring with him to his trade destination. This duo has the potential to set the league by storm and set Orlando up for major success. In other news, Monta Ellis still gets traded from the Warriors for Andrew Bogut, and with no Klay Thompson, it leaves Steph Curry as the only guy in Golden State worth mentioning at the moment. And as the regular season concludes, LeBron James wins the MVP award for the 3rd time, leading the Clippers to his second 60-win season, establishing his place in the Western Conference for years to come. And, since we have a lot of ground to cover, we head straight to the conference finals, where the Clippers and Thunder meet in Game 7. And here we are, Game 7, Clippers and Thunder. Clippers up by 3. Westbrook gets the ball at the top of the key. And goes right by Bledsoe for the dunk. Oh my goodness. What a play by Westbrook. Now LeBron taking it, guarded by KD. Right by KD! For the slam! LeBron James putting the Clippers on his back here in Game 7. Westbrook now taking the ball up the court. Westbrook guarded by Bledsoe, goes right by once again! Russell Westbrook to put it within 1. Eric Bledsoe to LeBron, who is still guarded by Durant. LeBron, look at it, go to the hoop! LeBron James! LeBron James with the hammer! Thunder have to answer. Westbrook again, blowing right by with a pull-up midi. No good! LeBron with the rebound, fouled by Durant. What a play by both sides. I mean, clearly they wanted Westbrook taking the shot. Or maybe he was just shot chucking, I don't know. They get it into Bledsoe, and all he has to do is hit these free throws, and they're in great shape. What a play by LeBron on both possessions to hammer it home over Durant twice in the clutch. They're not dead yet. Westbrook taking the ball up, down by 5. They need to move fast. Westbrook out to Ibaka for 3. That is not the play you want. And OKC will fall to the Clippers. Unbelievable scenes here in the conference finals. While in the East, it's another Game 7 between the Orlando Magic and the Cinderella-run Brooklyn Nets. And here in Game 7 on the East side, the Nets down by 2, led by Jimmy Butler, Devin Harris, Brook Lopez, as they just tied up. Jimmy Butler, the rookie, putting this team possibly on his back? I'm not sure. But a little disappointing from Chris Paul and Dwight Howard. They should be putting this young team away pretty handily as well, as Dwight gets it down low, guarded by Brook Lopez. And Brook Lopez is a great defender. He got him jumping, didn't take it, misses the layup. And Jimmy Butler has a chance to put this Nets team ahead, and he gets to the rim. No good. Rebound by David West out to J.J. Redick. This Magic team is no stranger to the finals, as Redick pulls up and misses. Rebound by Lopez. Up to Anthony Morrow, who smokes the layup and gets it back. Out to Devin Harris, guarded by Chris Paul. Harris looking to make a move. Out to Jimmy Buckets, blows right by Redick and gets the easy layup. Redick is not the guy you want guarding Jimmy Butler in that situation. Magic down by 2 with possibly the last possession of the game. 17, 16, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Well, on the clock in general. 10 seconds now. Chris Paul wasting all the time in an ISO situation. Out to Petrus. Down to West. Down to Dwight. To take the last shot of the game. Dwight! No good! Gets a putback! No good! And the Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey Nets, are going to the NBA Finals. Unbelievable upset. With OKC falling to the Clippers, the rumors around their young core becoming too expensive starts to linger, with their decision being surrounded by keeping either James Harden or Serge Ibaka, which I think we all know the answer on who they decide to keep around. For the Magic, even though their season ends in a surprising defeat, they still have the tools to compete as long as Dwight Howard can stay in true top form, while the Nets have a great young core and major depth, making them a hot destination for an all-star caliber player. Nonetheless, LeBron and the Clippers get the job done with a sweep. LeBron wins his first NBA championship and Finals MVP, which can be the first of many to come if the Clippers play their cards right.
With the first pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Anthony Davis.
The Detroit Pistons win the Anthony Davis sweepstakes and acquire the first overall pick in the draft. Other notable selections include Damian Lillard to the Suns, Bradley Beal to the Raptors, Draymond Green to the Hawks, and Chris Middleton to the Cavaliers. In free agency, no stars move off their current teams, except Ray Allen still joins the Miami Heat to bolster their depth. However, on the other hand, the trade market has been heating up. First, with the Atlanta Hawks pushing a youth movement, Joe Johnson was on the move. ISO Joe was traded to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for rookie Tristan Thompson, Hassan Whiteside, and one first-round pick. The Kings are showing an initiative to their star DeMarcus Cousins that they're ready to make moves to improve their roster. In real life, Steve Nash was traded to the Lakers after they weren't able to acquire Chris Paul. But, since they have Darren Williams, the other LA team decides to strike on Nash. The Clippers end up trading Baron Davis and 2 second-round picks for Nash. And lastly, the biggest trade happened right at the start of the season. James Harden was traded from the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Brooklyn Nets, forming a dynamic duo of James Harden and Jimmy Butler. The Nets had the assets to go get him, and they took a swing on the young guard, which we know was a great idea. Fast forward to the end of the season, and LeBron James wins the MVP award once again, dominating the Western Conference en route to a 2nd seed. OKC takes the first spot, and surprisingly, the Lakers miss the playoffs altogether. For the East, the Young Guns take over the conference, as the Atlanta Hawks take the first spot, with the Nets right behind them. However, with youth comes inexperience, as the Hawks fall to the 8th-seeded Detroit Pistons led by Anthony Davis and a lot of veteran talent. Jumping to the conference finals though for both sides, where in the West, the Dallas Mavericks have one more gasp of life in them, battling through the 1st-seeded Thunder to get to the conference finals to face LeBron James and the Clippers. Out East, another team looking for greatness once again, the Miami Heat take on the young and talented Brooklyn Nets. And with the Heat's crushing defeat, Dallas Mavericks also suffer the same fate, leading to a finals rematch of the previous season. And history continues to repeat itself, as the Clippers once again defeat the Nets and LeBron gains another finals MVP. At this rate, at only 28 years old, the LeBron James GOAT trajectory is in full swing.
With the first pick in the 2013 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Bobcats select Anthony Bennett of Toronto, Canada, and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
And unfortunately, in the draft class you don't want the first overall pick, the Charlotte Bobcats drafting the biggest bust in NBA history, Anthony Bennett. In one of the weakest draft classes in recent memory, producing very few quality players, it's a pretty forgettable one. Besides one man from Greece who ends up in Denver, but more on that later. Another free agency with no signings but notable trades. The Celtics have been awful to say the least, and with their aging core, they decide to hit the reset button. They decided to start from ground zero, trading Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett all to the same team, the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks unloaded almost their entire roster and 3 first-round draft picks to the Boston Celtics. In a shocking move, Mark Cuban decided to play aggressive and give Dirk one more opportunity. In real life, we saw how this worked out for the Brooklyn Nets, but maybe Dallas will be more lucky. In other news, the 76ers trade their young guard Drew Holiday to the Golden State Warriors in exchange for recently drafted Trey Burke and a top 10 protected draft pick for next year's draft. This is in an effort to support Steph Curry defensively and push towards a brighter future. And as we head to the end of the season, Kevin Durant of the OKC Thunder wins his first MVP award after leading the Thunder to a 65-win season. And the stakes are higher than ever for this Thunder duo after their former teammate James Harden made it to 2 straight finals without them. The rest of the West is unsurprising, and luckily for Dallas, the trade seems to have paid off, leading them to the 3rd seed. For the East, the same contenders are hanging around for the most part, but some new faces are approaching the top of the standings. And as we head to the playoffs, despite Dallas's best efforts, they ran right into the back-to-back champion Clippers in the second round, falling to them in 5 games. And once again, the Western Conference Finals results in the OKC Thunder versus Los Angeles Clippers. For the East, it's once again the Miami Heat versus a new foe in the sneaky Toronto Raptors. While the Raptors, they've quietly built a strong team in the East, led by DeMar DeRozan, Bradley Beal, and Kemba Walker. And finally, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and the OKC Thunder get past LeBron James and the Clippers to make it to the NBA Finals. There have been some rumblings about LeBron's commitment this season, as he decided not to comment on his upcoming contract extension due next season. In the East, we have a Game 7, where the Miami Heat prevail over the Toronto Raptors. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Marc Gasol lead the charge, with a great supporting cast around them, to face the finals favorites, the OKC Thunder. In one of the biggest betting odds upsets, the Miami Heat pummel the Thunder in 5 games. Dwayne Wade captures his 2nd Finals MVP, and when people revisit this championship, it'll be weighed very heavily. Now, before we enter the draft, there is one thing to note. LeBron James decided to extend his contract on a 2-year deal with a player option, meaning that he could become a free agent next offseason. This doesn't mean that he'll be leaving the Clippers, but it isn't out of the realm of possibility. The emergence of Blake Griffin has led the franchise to believe that Griffin can be a number 1 option, and Griffin believes that himself. There has been some tension between LeBron and Blake Griffin over the last year or so, but we've seen this in NBA history before, and it can really go either way. Now, on to the draft.
With the first pick in the 2014 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Andrew Wiggins from Toronto.
The Boston Celtics won the draft lottery, selecting Andrew Wiggins. While in real life Wiggins blossomed into a quality NBA player, it's arguable that his potential was never fully reached, and now he has a new chance to do so in Boston. For the rest of the draft class, it's pretty stacked with multiple MVPs and other award holders that we see in real life, but we could see how they blossom here. Only one trade to note this time around, as Minnesota finally frees Kevin Love, sending him to the Chicago Bulls to team up with Derrick Rose. The Bulls traded Luol Deng, Carlos Boozer, recently drafted Dante Exum, and 2 first-round picks, which pairs Rose with another All-NBA caliber teammate to hopefully give them a chance in the East. This time, the trade deadline was very active. The Orlando Magic ownership decides to have a fire sale. The duo of Chris Paul and Dwight Howard hasn't worked out, and both players have been traded. 2 of the league's best at each position becoming available warranted a lot of interest. We know the Nets are very open to trading a lot to get a superstar, and with Chris Paul being vocal about wanting to play with James Harden, it was very clear. Paul was traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Brandon Knight, recently signed Andrew Bogut, and 2 first-round picks. While there were better deals on the table, Orlando wanted to do right by CP3 for his willingness to play there. This forms a big 3 of Chris Paul, James Harden, and Jimmy Butler, which almost happened in real life on the Houston Rockets. As for Dwight Howard, he was sent to the Detroit Pistons to pair alongside a young superstar in Anthony Davis, creating one of the best defensive frontcourts the league has ever seen. The Pistons traded Nikola Vucevic, Greg Monroe, recently drafted Jordan Adams, and 1 first-round pick. This gives Orlando a ton of young talent, draft capital, and free agency flexibility. On to the end of the season, and Derrick Rose wins his first MVP award, leading the Bulls to the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference with the help of Kevin Love. Toronto lands in the first spot, while the new-look Nets need some more time to develop. Out west, LeBron hears the rumors and takes the Clippers to another first seed, but time will tell if it'll work out. While the Bulls had a lot of regular season success, this doesn't result in much postseason success, as they lost in the first round to the team that ran to the conference finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are facing the Miami Heat. This Cavs team, led by Kyrie Irving, has a nice supporting cast of Chris Middleton and Andre Drummond, while the Heat have stayed relatively the same, proving to be a dominant force no matter what seed they are. In the West, the Clippers walked to the conference finals to face the surprising Memphis Grizzlies led by Mike Conley, CJ McCollum, Aaron Gordon, and Rudy Gay. LeBron and company eliminate the Grizzlies in 5 games to send themselves to yet another NBA Finals. And, similarly in the East, the Miami Heat beat down the rising Cavaliers in 5 games. While this Cavs team is interesting, all the eyes are on the Heat and Dwayne Wade. And once again, the Clippers get it done against the Miami Heat and win the NBA Finals, as LeBron gets his 3rd championship and Finals MVP. Was this enough for LeBron to re-sign with the Clippers? Only time will tell.
With the first pick in the 2015 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Karl Anthony Towns from the University of Kentucky.
The Golden State Warriors win the draft lottery and secure the number 1 overall pick, where in real life they're winning championships. They select Karl Anthony Towns, pairing the best shooter ever with the best shooting center ever. In a decent draft class, they secure one of the best players from it, but the real winners are the Boston Celtics, who came away with Kristaps Porzingis and Devin Booker, garnering the 2nd first-round pick from the Dallas Mavericks trade a few years ago. In free agency, LeBron James has decided to re-sign with the LA Clippers on a 3-year deal with a player option at the end of it. This will have him potentially become a free agent during the 2018 free agency class, when he's 33 years old. He had a conversation with the rest of the core roster and management, where they all agreed that winning championships is the goal, and there shouldn't be any egos. Rajon Rondo leaves the Dallas Mavericks and joins the Toronto Raptors and becomes a 6th man on a championship caliber roster. LaMarcus Aldridge signs with the Cavaliers to bolster their roster after a successful playoff run last year, which could create a scenario where they return to the conference finals and beyond. And lastly, Amari Stoudemire, on his last legs, signs with the Houston Rockets. While declining, it gives Houston a 3rd option behind Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. On that note, Carmelo Anthony requests a trade from New York and gets it granted. Carmelo Anthony gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in a 3-team trade. This trade sends Darren Williams to Atlanta, Andrew Bynum, salary filler, and 2 first-round picks to New York, and Carmelo Anthony and Raymond Felton to the Lakers. After their initial championship, the Lakers didn't find much success, and with Kobe getting ready to retire soon, they get one more shot at a championship, adding Carmelo Anthony. This is a relatively low-risk trade for the Lakers, and gives the Knicks a chance to restart, and they have 3 first-rounders in this upcoming draft. Then, we head to the end of the season, where Derrick Rose wins the MVP once again, leading the Bulls to a top seed in the conference. For the rest of the East, Toronto leads the way, winning over 60 games, as did the Cavs with recent addition LaMarcus Aldridge. Out west, the Clippers once again lead the conference, followed by OKC and Denver to round out the top 3. In the playoffs, in the Western Conference, we have a major upset. Steph Curry continues to be a thorn in LeBron's side in this universe, as the 8th-seeded Warriors eliminate the Clippers, and dominate in the 2nd round, leading to the conference finals. Additionally, the Denver Nuggets, led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, find their way there as well. In the East, the conference finals are represented by the Toronto Raptors and the Chicago Bulls, meaning we are guaranteed a brand new champion. In their Western Conference Finals, the Golden State Warriors knock off Giannis and the Nuggets to make the NBA Finals. And out east, the Raptors make the finals, beating the Chicago Bulls, meaning we get this finals matchup 3 years early. And, in dominating fashion, the 60-plus win Raptors manhandle the Warriors, beating them in a sweep.
And that's it. There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada. We, the North, are now we, the champions.
With Bradley Beal winning Finals MVP, these Raptors can continue to be dominant in the wide-open East.
With the first pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Ben Simmons.
The New York Knicks win the draft lottery, going on to select Ben Simmons, who is a controversial player in real life, but with no injuries, the sky is the limit for him in our world. Other notable selections include Brandon Ingram to the Wizards, Domantas Sabonis to the Milwaukee Bucks, Jaylen Brown staying in Boston, and Pascal Siakam going to Minnesota. As for free agency, it is stacked. Just like in real life, Kevin Durant leaves the OKC Thunder to join the Golden State Warriors. However, in this universe, the move is less scrutinized as the Warriors were the ultimate underdog and not the most achieving team of all time. Dwight Howard decided he was done with the Eastern Conference and joins Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Denver Nuggets. Whether this is a good signing or not is yet to be seen, but with a Western Conference Finals berth last season, it could pay dividends to get Dwight Howard. Since OKC lost Kevin Durant, they pivoted and Carmelo Anthony saw the writing on the wall in Los Angeles. With Kobe Bryant getting ready to retire, Carmelo joins Westbrook and OKC just a few years early. DeAndre Jordan decides he's done with LA himself, and since CP3 and Blake Griffin aren't able to lock him in a room, he is free to leave. And he joins the Utah Jazz with Gordon Hayward and Zach LaVine. And the Clippers continue to lose role players with Eric Gordon and Eric Bledsoe signing elsewhere, setting up a potential disaster scenario for the Clippers. And then at the trade deadline, DeMarcus Cousins voiced his frustration with the Kings organization that they didn't do enough to put talent around him. He was sent to the Indiana Pacers for a monster haul. The Kings received Yusuf Nurkic, Jordan Clarkson, Stanley Johnson, Derek Favors, and 2 first-round picks. This pairs All-Star Paul George with DeMarcus Cousins to create a formidable duo in the Eastern Conference that is on the brink of contention. Fast forward to the end of the season, and Giannis Antetokounmpo wins his first MVP award. The duo of Giannis and Dwight seem to have paid their dividends, leading to a top record in the Western Conference. For the rest of the West, the Jazz surprised many as the second seed, with the Clippers hanging around to the third spot, and the Curry and Durant Warriors aren't too far behind. In the East, the Nets seem to have figured it out. However, with the East getting tougher, the Raptors seem to have fallen out of playoff contention. And in the conference finals, it'll be the Golden State Warriors against the Utah Jazz. The Warriors had to get through Denver to get here, and the playoff experience by Durant was a huge factor in that series. Out East, it's the Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Both teams were some of the favorites entering the playoffs. The Nets get by the Cleveland Cavaliers and make the NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. While the Jazz did take Golden State to 7 games, they just couldn't get the job done. In the finals, Curry, Durant, Drew Holiday, and Karl-Anthony Towns beat the Brooklyn Nets in just 5 games. This could be the start of a real-life history as Golden State wins their first NBA championship, with Steph Curry winning Finals MVP and 2 legends of the game winning their first NBA title.
With the first pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Markelle Fultz from the University of Washington.
The Wizards win the draft lottery and take Markelle Fultz. With injuries tackling his potential in real life, maybe Washington can unlock the true form of Fultz that was never shown. There is a lot of talent in this draft, and honestly, the list on screen doesn't do this draft justice. The ones on screen are the most notable, with plenty more depth down the board. LeBron James has decided to take his player option and test free agency next offseason. He plans on giving this another go, and as the declining cracks are showing in the roster, but it's hard to doubt the talent of Blake Griffin and LeBron James. However, the Nets were unable to make the salaries work for Chris Paul, which sends him to his next destination, the Detroit Pistons, to team up with Anthony Davis. It's up to the Pistons management to put the best team around these two, and maybe they could become contenders in the Eastern Conference. Isaiah Thomas decides on his own accord this time to leave Boston and joins the LA Clippers. The Clippers are using this as an effort to keep LeBron in town and satisfy Blake Griffin, but only time will tell if the addition of the All-Star point guard will make either of them happy. On to the regular season, where there is one major trade to note. With the Wizards taking Markelle Fultz, they surprisingly trade John Wall to start their NBA season, giving Wall a chance to win a championship in his prime. The Philadelphia 76ers make a move, trading Trey Burke, Jeremy Lamb, and 2 first-round picks for John Wall. And you may be wondering, why was that so cheap? In this universe though, almost every contending team has a star point guard on the roster, or can't match the salaries to get Wall. Wall gets a team with Joel Embiid, and with plenty of cap space this upcoming summer, the Sixers can look dangerous in the near future. On to the end of the season, and Giannis Antetokounmpo wins back-to-back MVPs, leading the Nuggets to the first seed in the Western Conference. As for the rest of the West, the Warriors and Clippers round out the top 3 with no real surprises in the conference. While out east, the Heat just find ways to stay at the top, leading the way with 57 wins, along with Cleveland and Boston right behind them. Fast forward, and it's the Jazz and Warriors Western Conference Finals rematch of the year before. And out east, it's the old generation versus the new generation, as it's the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. The Warriors sweep the Jazz, and Boston makes it past Miami to set up a finals matchup that happens way earlier here than in real life. And in this version of history, the Boston Celtics get the job done, beating the Warriors in a hard-fought 6-game series, with the veteran Goran Dragic, of all players, holding Finals MVP. This team is on the path to greatness over the next decade if they can play their cards right.
The first pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Sacramento Kings select DeAndre Ayton.
The Sacramento Kings win the draft lottery, earning the rights to draft DeAndre Ayton number 1 overall. And we know that in this draft, there was a trade between the number 3 and number 5 overall picks representing Luka Doncic and Trae Young, and that still happens. To make it simple, Luka Doncic ends up on the Phoenix Suns, and Trae Young is on the Portland Trail Blazers. On to free agency, where I really couldn't make this up, but the Clippers decided to sign Bradley Beal away from the Toronto Raptors and renounce the rights to LeBron James. There's major speculation of whether it was a mutual decision or if the Clippers felt it was time to go another direction. And with that being said, LeBron James has decided to return home to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where in real life he decided to leave them during this offseason. Since Kyrie Irving had 8 years to be the Batman, he takes a small pay cut to become Robin. And with that being said, on to the trade market. Kawhi Leonard has felt that the Rockets organization haven't been able to truly capitalize on their windows and feels betrayed by the organization due to failed promises. When the Rockets were told this, they decided to start over and have a fire sale very similar to the Boston Celtics a few years ago. First, they traded Kyle Lowry to the Toronto Raptors for Dante DiVincenzo and a top 10 protected first-round pick. Then, they sent Kawhi Leonard to the Philadelphia 76ers for Serge Ibaka, Nick Stauskas, DJ Wilson, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. Mind you, Kawhi Leonard is on a 1-year deal and has shown no indication of signing an extension with any franchise, so the Sixers are taking a huge gamble to win right now. And lastly, before we head into the regular season, Kobe Bryant has announced that he's decided to have a farewell tour for the 2018-19 NBA season, as without injuries, Kobe was able to play for a couple more years. On to the end of the season, where Steph Curry wins his first MVP award, leading the Warriors to a 60-win season, where many online feel like this is a pity MVP, but nonetheless, it's been awarded to Curry. For the rest of the West, Phoenix and Memphis round out the top 3, signaling a new era in the Western Conference. For the East, Detroit stays on top with Miami and Brooklyn right behind them. And the Cavs have had some growing pains as LeBron and the Cavs missed the playoffs altogether, but they're expected to bounce back next season. In the playoffs, the Warriors steamroll to the conference finals to face a familiar foe in the Denver Nuggets. Out east, it's the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Warriors get it done with ease as the duo of Dwight Howard and Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't enough for the Warriors' firepower. And the Nets get the job done beating Philly in 7 games for a finals rematch. The Warriors win the 2019 NBA Finals in 7 games, with Steph Curry getting yet another Finals MVP. And with Kevin Durant becoming a free agent this offseason, they have to feel good knowing that a championship just sweetened the deal on a potential return.
With the first pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Zion Williamson from Duke University.
The Houston Rockets win the draft lottery and select Zion Williamson. In real life, his biggest question mark has been his health. But with there being no injuries, Zion can lead the Rockets to the promised land. Some other notable selections include John Morant of the Mavericks and Darius Garland of the Portland Trail Blazers. In free agency, Kevin Durant stays with the Golden State Warriors, as does most of the top free agents. Kemba Walker, being the best free agent to switch teams, leaves the Toronto Raptors and joins the Brooklyn Nets. With a finals appearance just the year before, this could easily send Brooklyn right back into finals contention. However, one team decides that they're over the days of being a bad team and consistently at the bottom of the standings, and decides to make multiple trades for multiple high-level players. That team, the New York Knicks. First, they trade Frank Ntilikina, Norman Powell, the recently drafted Rui Hachimura, and 4 future first-round picks for Russell Westbrook. But they're not finished. They trade recently drafted Hamidou Diallo, Avery Bradley, and 3 second-round picks for Nikola Vucevic. In a sign-and trade, they go and get Gordon Hayward from the Utah Jazz for Noah Vonleh, Troy Brown Jr., and 1 first-round pick. Then, with the last of the draft capital, which isn't much, they go and grab glue guys like Jay Crowder, filling out the rest of their roster in free agency. Fast forwarding to the end of the regular season, and Luka Doncic wins the MVP award for the Phoenix Suns. A team that passed on drafting him in real life sees the benefits of taking him in another universe, leading the Suns to the 2nd seed in the West behind the Golden State Warriors. Out east, the Knicks' gamble paid off, leading them with one of the largest one-year turnarounds in a very long time. With Boston and Milwaukee rounding out the top bunch, we see LeBron and the Cavs at the 5th spot, a team to still watch out for in these playoffs. As I say that, we head to the conference finals as the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Cavs still have Kyrie and LeBron taking on Jason Tatum, Julius Randle, and Miles Turner of the Bucks. Out west, it's the familiar Golden State Warriors against Luka Doncic and the Phoenix Suns. The Suns, behind the effort of Luka and Damian Lillard, beat the Golden State Warriors and head to their first NBA Finals of this simulation, and LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and the Cavaliers make the finals as well, setting up yet another unique matchup, where LeBron James brings it home to the land and is able to fulfill his promise of bringing a championship to Cleveland. And just like real life, wins his 4th NBA championship and Finals MVP in the 2020 season. The question is, can they do it again next season? Only time will tell.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Anthony Edwards from the University of Georgia.
The Washington Wizards win the draft lottery and select Anthony Edwards, a bona fide future superstar, and can lead this Wizards team to greatness. Outside of that, LaMelo Ball ends up with the Lakers, and I guarantee you that LeVar Ball is very happy. Tyrese Halliburton ends up in Indiana, which just seems like fake guaranteed that draft pick to happen, as Tyrese Maxey ends up with the Dallas Mavericks. With no major free agency or trade news, we jump straight past the regular season, and a player we haven't heard much about lately wins the MVP. Derrick Rose bounces back and wins his third MVP award, leading the Bulls to a 55-win season. For the rest of the East, Boston and Cleveland accompany them at the top, while out west, Phoenix is the first seed, with Golden State and Houston with Zion Williamson right behind them. Jumping forward again to the conference finals, and we have the Los Angeles Clippers, who sneakily crept up the power rankings with the emergence of DeJounte Murray. They upset the Phoenix Suns in round 2 and faced the Golden State Warriors to nobody's surprise in the conference finals. Out east, it's the Cavaliers once again, but against a new foe in the Chicago Bulls. The team still has Derrick Rose and Kevin Love, while Cleveland remains unchanged from their previous championship season. Cleveland gets past the Bulls in 6, while we head over to the West and the Warriors come out on top, and we get another matchup between Steph Curry, Kevin Durant versus LeBron James. And this time, the Cavaliers repeat in the NBA Finals, granting the Cavs their second championship, and LeBron James gets his 5th NBA ring. Will this momentum keep up, or will a new challenger try to knock the king off his throne?
With the first pick in the 2021 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State University.
The San Antonio Spurs, who've been quiet throughout this resim, have landed on Cade Cunningham as their next franchise guy. Cade is coming into his own in real life, proving that his talent is undeniable. Outside of that, the Raptors land Evan Mobley, the Magic get Scotty Barnes, and the Pacers get Franz Wagner. Into free agency, where there has been some movement across the league. Jimmy Butler decides he wants to be a number 1 option and left the Brooklyn Nets to join the OKC Thunder. The Thunder have a lot of young talent, which could be used in their favor if the right partner for Jimmy becomes available. Next, Carmelo Anthony joins the Atlanta Hawks, and this one is worth mentioning simply because in real life he is a Hawks legend. Maybe they can give Melo one more chance at a ring, but I doubt it. Chris Middleton joins the Dallas Mavericks after going back-to-back in Cleveland, and Dallas creates a nice core of young talent and veterans to make themselves a potential playoff team. On to the regular season, where we have a few trades to note. The Portland Trail Blazers go and trade for Pascal Siakam from the Minnesota Timberwolves, giving up Darius Garland, Kyle Kuzma, and Justin Jackson. The Trail Blazers guard room has got a lot of talent, including Trae Young and De'Aaron Fox, leaving Garland as the odd man out. This gives Garland a fresh chance to flourish in a new role and elevates the Trailblazers frontcourt by adding Siakam. And the Warriors actually make a trade, trading away Drew Holiday, recently drafted Cam Thomas, Rodney Hood, and 3 first-round picks to the Atlanta Hawks for Klay Thompson. The Warriors now pair 2 of the best shooting guards of all time together, and alongside Kevin Durant, we can only wonder what that trio will be capable of. On to the end of the season, Jason Tatum wins the MVP award for the Bucks, leading them to the first seed in the East. The Pistons land in the second spot not too far behind the Bucks, with a drop-off after those two. Out west, it's the young Dallas Mavericks in the top spot, with the tiebreaker over the Golden State Warriors, who share the same record. In the playoffs, the MVP loses in the first round in a huge upset. The 8th-seeded Sixers beat the Bucks in 6 games, and LeBron James and the Cavaliers lose in the first round to the Indiana Pacers, just as he and Kyrie signed long-term extensions at the deadline. And in the conference finals, it'll be the Indiana Pacers versus the Detroit Pistons. Both teams have a lot of depth and great star power at the top. Out west, if anyone could guess, it's the Golden State Warriors versus the surprising Dallas Mavericks. Both top seeds in that conference meeting for a battle to reach the NBA Finals. Back out east, and it's the Pistons making the NBA Finals, with Anthony Davis winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and in a very surprising turn in the West, the Mavericks beat the Warriors in 6 games behind the effort of Western Conference Finals MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And in the finals, the Dallas Mavericks get it done, with Shai winning Finals MVP. Nobody would have guessed a few years ago that Dallas would be winning a championship. But the question is, can the new guys in town keep their momentum going? Only time will tell.
With the first pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Paolo Banchero from Duke University.
The Miami Heat have finally come down to earth and received the #1 overall pick, drafting Paolo Banchero, who could be a huge building block in the future. Some other notable selections include Chet Holmgren staying in OKC and Jalen Williams heading up north to Toronto. In free agency, James Harden joins the MVP Jason Tatum up in Milwaukee, forming a nasty dynamic duo that could easily contend for an NBA championship. And Nikola Jokic goes to the Washington Wizards to pair alongside Anthony Edwards, which forms yet another duo that will feed the Wizards to come. Russell Westbrook left the New York Knicks after multiple underwhelming seasons and goes to the Houston Rockets, teaming up with Zion Williamson. Lastly, Rudy Gobert is done wasting away in New Orleans and gets traded to the Phoenix Suns for mostly salary filler and 3 first-round picks. On to the end of the season, where Nikola Jokic wins his first MVP award, bringing the Wizards to the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference, while Milwaukee led in the first spot and Cleveland bouncing back and rounding out the top 3. In the West, Dallas once again is at the top, while the Warriors are the 8th seed in the conference, being the major surprise of the season. In the playoffs, we get the Washington Wizards versus the Detroit Pistons in the conference finals, a battle we've seen plenty of times in real life between Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic. In the West, it's the Dallas Mavericks versus the Los Angeles Lakers led by LaMelo Ball. A surprise throughout the season has a chance to make the NBA Finals. However, the Mavs get it done, and Ja Morant wins the Western Conference Finals MVP, while out east, the Pistons beat the Wizards for a finals rematch of the year before. Where in the finals, the Pistons get the job done, and Anthony Davis wins finals MVP. Both Chris Paul and Anthony Davis win their first NBA championship, and for Paul, it's a feel-good moment, as he announces that he will be retiring after winning his first and only NBA championship. It appears Adam Silver made the call to bring Victor Wembanyama to the Chicago Bulls, obviously one of the most polarizing players the league has ever seen. Can Chicago put the team around him and Rose to have one more chance at a title? Outside of that, Amen Thompson goes to the Atlanta Hawks, while his brother Asar Thompson heads to the New Orleans Pelicans. In free agency, the biggest move is the Houston Rockets signing Giannis Antetokounmpo and going all in on an NBA championship. Westbrook, Giannis, and Zion can definitely compete with any team in the West. With no other major moves, we can see how they did here at the end of the season. First, Nikola Jokic goes back-to-back on the MVPs, bringing the Wizards back to relevancy with his co-star Anthony Edwards, yet they were just the 4th seed as Cleveland has retooled and dominated the Eastern Conference. Out west, the same contenders are at the top, but the Warriors have seemed to have dramatically slowed down. This time, we skip most of the recap as we look straight to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, as it's the Mavericks looking for revenge and the Cavaliers looking for yet another title. Anthony Bennett going to inbound the ball to Tyrese Maxey, a sentence I never thought that I would say. Game 7 NBA Finals, Maxey driving right by Desmond Bane to the hoop. No good. Nick Claxton with the rebound. Cleveland looking to win once again. LeBron looking for championship number 6 as he's about to come off the bench. Irving to Bagley in the corner. Up to Desmond Bane, back to Kyrie. Guarded by Ja Morant. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Morant staying put with Kyrie. Forces the pass as Bane has to hoist it up, and it is no good. Rebound Bennett. Up to Otto Porter, I believe that is. As he swings it to Bennett, gets it to Morant. In the corner to Maxey, still guarded by Desmond Bane. What a move by Maxey as he ties up the game. Tyrese Maxey with a beautiful move. Something I've seen him do a lot in Sixers games, but that's for another video. Kyrie bringing the ball up the court. Still guarded by Morant. Gets right by him to the rack, and it is good. Cleveland going up by 2 with 1:33 left to go. Maxey bringing it up. Gets right by Desmond Bane for the slam. Tyrese Maxey ties up the game with 1:25 left on the game clock. Kyrie looking to take it himself, dancing around, getting stuck in the same spot as before. Passes out to Mitchell Robinson, who's guarded by Ivica Zubac, and just hoists up a terrible shot, but gets the offensive board. Irving, double teamed, puts it up. No good. Rebound Dallas, up to Morant. Up to Maxey, he's been hot. Goes right by Bane again. No good, Bane with the rebound. 50 seconds left on the game clock. Desmond Bane bringing the ball up the court. Into Kyrie in the corner, step back three. Bang! Kyrie Irving puts the Cavs up 3 with a tremendous clutch shot, as something we know that he is capable of doing. Maxey, though, penetrates and hits the mid-range shot. Only a 1-point game. If Cleveland could score here, it would still be a 1-point game unless it's a 3. But they would be looking in good shape as Kyrie dribble pull-up. No good. Dallas with a chance to take the lead with about 20 seconds left on the clock. Morant, guarded by Kyrie in one of the biggest moments of his career, swings it to Maxey, who's guarded by Bagley. This is the perfect matchup. Maxey right by to the rack. No good. And a very quick foul. Dallas is in trouble. Desmond Bane has hit both free throws to put Cleveland up by 3. All the starters are in. Dallas needs a 3 to tie. Gets it into Morant. And it's good. John Morant ties the game for the Dallas Mavericks. And barring a crazy shot, we may be looking at overtime. And here we are, Kyrie Irving with the ball. Still guarded by Morant. Pulls it out for 3. No good. And we are looking at overtime. Oh my God. Anthony Bennett just hit the craziest shot in NBA history. The Dallas Mavericks have just won the NBA Finals. And with the craziest shot in NBA history by former bust Anthony Bennett, the Mavs secure yet another championship, denying LeBron of number 6 and leaving the Cavs deflated but motivated.
Block for LeBron James. Hold on. We're speechless, Hubie Brown.
Down to 5. Down to 3.
Let somebody else beat you.
3 on the way. He got it!
John Morant at the free throw line. A minute, 3 seconds left in this tied Game 7. A very similar situation to last year. Except tonight, John Morant is having one of the best finals games of all time, as he misses the first free throw. We know how Cleveland went home last year. It was a heartbreaker. Morant for the second free throw. And it's good. The tie has been broken. LeBron looking for number 6 to tie Michael Jordan. Kyrie Irving, guarded by Morant. Step back jumper is no good. Rebound Bagley. Back out to PJ Washington, who takes the screen and he's going to the rack. No good. Gets his own miss. Out to Bane. No good. What are these shots, man? Incredible performance, I guess. I don't know what to say. I'm a little in shock. Morant has been absolutely nuclear, as we may get a taste of that right now. Takes a screen by Zubac. Hits the 3. No. Misses it. LeBron James with the rebound. Only 20 seconds left. They got to make a move. LeBron guarded by former teammate Chris Middleton. Out to Kyrie to PJ Washington. It's good. What a play by the Cavaliers to put them up by 2. Dallas having a chance to tie or take the lead. Morant guarded by Kyrie Irving. Sizing him up. Goes to the top of the key. They call an ISO for Morant as he makes a move. Dribble pull-up. It's good. 1.1 left to go. And Cleveland has a chance to win, but Dallas ties it up. 1.1 left to go. They don't have a lot of time to get up a shot. They got to get it into a playmaker. They get it into LeBron James. And it's off. In and out. And we are going to overtime. About 2.5 minutes left in this overtime period. 125-124. Cleveland has the lead. Morant, guarded by Irving. Out to Otto Porter, sent to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who takes a screen by Morant. No good. LeBron with the rebound. Looking to push the pace in transition up to P.J. Washington. Looking to dribble, not really sure what's happening. Kyrie, top of the key. Looking to make something happen. Out to P.J. Washington. Looking to get it to LeBron down low, and they do. They send the double team. LeBron up and under is good. Puts Dallas up by 3. LeBron not having his best game, but just enough, I guess, to keep him in play. Morant taking the screen now by Zubac. Goes to the rim. And dunks it over Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. John Morant has 45 points. Kyrie looking to answer. Looking to go right by Morant. And he misses the shot off the backboard. He hit one a little bit earlier. Middleton now. Out to Porter. Out to Morant. Looking for the lob to Shai. John Morant with the perfect lob to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And puts him up by 1. Kyrie Irving sizing up Morant. Little bit of a spin move to LeBron James. It's good. LeBron puts him up by 2 with 1:15 left to go. Morant maybe calling for the screen, and he does. Takes a 3. No good. That was a crazy shot. I know he's in the zone, but you have to know what you're doing in these finals. Irving now takes the ball. Pump fakes it. Almost takes a crazy shot leaning out of bounds. Out to P.J. Washington once again. LeBron taking a screen from Desmond Bane. Goes to the rack, and it is swatted away by Ivica Zubac. 46 seconds left. They get into Kyrie Irving with a quick trigger 3. Cleveland is in prime position to win this game. They get the inbound to John Morant. Out to Shai. Quick trigger. No good. But they get the toss off the rebound. Middleton. It's good. Chris Middleton with the clutchest 3 of his entire career. Cleveland needs an answer if they want to win this game in overtime. Irving takes a screen. Wide open triple. No good. And a timeout Dallas with 24 seconds left. No timeouts remaining for Dallas. John Morant gets it. He blows right by Kyrie. And he's fouled. Misses the layup, but has a chance to tie it with 2 free throws. Morant makes the first one. He makes the second one. We are tied once again. In the clutch. And he gets it. Timeout Cleveland. 20.6 left on the clock. You would have to guess Cleveland is taking the last shot here. Irving guarded by John Morant. And he is wasting all of this clock. 10 seconds on the game clock. Irving making a move. Morant putting up great defense. Kyrie forced to a bad shot to Washington. It is no good. A heave. And not this time, as we are going to double overtime. About 2:10 left on the game clock. Dallas now up by 3 in double overtime. Bagley with the ball. Out to Kyrie, who fakes a shot and takes it and misses. Shai with the rebound now. Less than 2 minutes left to go. Dallas holds control. Can Dallas win it again? Morant takes the screen, pulls up for 3. No good. Thought he was fouled by Kyrie, but the home field call goes the other way. Bagley now. Up to Desmond Bane. LeBron gets it. Drives to the rim. And an easy layup over his former teammate Chris Middleton. Makes it a 1-point game. 1:30 left on the game clock. Morant, again, nuclear in this finals. Fouled and won. John Morant with over 50 points in these finals. Morant hits the free throw and they go up by 4. John Morant has one of the most highest scoring games in an NBA Finals ever. Bagley down to LeBron. They're going to send the double team. LeBron spins out to Bagley to Desmond Bane for 3. It is good. Great play by Cleveland. Makes it a 1-point game again. Triple overtime is on the table. Morant guarded by Kyrie Irving. I am speechless. Morant takes the screen. Kyrie sticking with him as he goes to the rack. John Morant over 2 defenders. Morant has 57 points. Cleveland down by 3. Gets the ball into Irving, who's also having a great game. Kyrie sizing up Morant. Goes up with the floater, and he does get it. He does get it. But is it enough? Dallas still up by 1 with 48 seconds left. John Morant is in the zone. Morant now going right by Kyrie with a nice side step. But he misses the shot. Cleveland has a chance. 34 seconds left. LeBron with the ball. Guarded by Middleton. LeBron out to Kyrie and he gets out of his way. Kyrie sizing up Morant. Goes to the rack. And he gets the layup. Cleveland takes the lead with 24.6 left on the game clock. Dallas has a chance to answer. You would assume this is going to be the last shot of the game. But Morant looking to work fast. Slows it down now. Takes the screen. Irving sticking right with him. Morant unsure what to do. Out to Zubac. Faking. Takes it back out. 5 seconds left. Is Zubac going to take the last shot? Out to Otto Porter. To Shea, who heaves it. It's no good. And the Cavaliers win the NBA Finals. LeBron James ties Michael Jordan and gets number 6. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Matt here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It took so long to make it. I know it's not perfect. I did the best that I could. If you guys enjoyed this type of what if in comparison to my other what if, which will be right here, I think, then let me know. Let me know if you like it where it's more narrative and I just, write the storylines kinda, stuff like that. Or if you prefer, I just let everything be and you get my full raw reaction. It's completely up to you. Now, some of the stuff, for the most part, I let happen and then I wrote down what I was going to say. So, for the most part, 2K did everything. So, that is what if LeBron went to the Clippers. Let me know down in the comments, like I said, if you guys enjoyed it. And tell me who benefited the most from this resim and who, didn't benefit the most. I can't think of the other word right now. But basically, who didn't benefit from the resim? Whose career was completely altered and maybe even ruined? I don't know. You guys will find out. And if there are any inconsistencies, mistypes, I do apologize. But I will get better as we go. 2K26 is coming out later this week. I wanted to get this video out a long time ago. But stuff happens, man. So 2K26 coming out this week. I have my reservations about it, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for sticking around with me. I know it's been a minute, but I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.